even you had a podcast network. Maybe I look at it like maybe Joe is not good administratively. Maybe he's not good doing things. A lot of artists aren't good at actually managing a schedule. You know what I mean? Their brain is so occupied with certain things that I look at. I'm like, Joe's a great person to get that idea from, to execute on a talent level, but to kind of manage, like let's say a podcast network. You got to get Joe out of the paint.
I agree. That's what I learned starting a podcast network. It took me to start a podcast network to learn, hey, I don't really want to speak to all these podcasters. Like, that's not my role. Like, I may have a vision, I may help with that, but I don't want to speak to podcasters day to day and be in charge or be responsible for their growth. I don't want to be in that position.
Yeah, I felt like you were leading the ship. You were you're the leader of the ship. You're the creative. You're the mastermind behind it. But then I think with everybody who comes in, which that's one of the scary parts about it. And now this side of it is where people's livelihoods and, their ability to make an income or their scope of how their career should go is now dependent on you. And honestly, it's kind of like I've always said about music managers. I could never, and this is one of the reasons I never even started a label. Executives too, you have to coddle and pay attention.
Yeah.
No, I got one. I'm good still.
I'll tell you. You gotta really micromanage everyone, and you gotta focus on the business, but you also gotta be you. Mm-hmm. And then it turns out to be so much. I've always said most people have the business guy, but also the guy who's gonna deal with everything else and allows you to do what you just do. And where are you with a podcast network now? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, seeing you doing that and seeing the amount of people who I meet daily, yo, Ak, I look up to you, yo, Ak, yo, you're the reason why I got into this, yo, Ak, how could I, whatever. I'm like, I'm at the point where I could probably throw alley-oops with the network, but also I don't want to be bogged down like you were, where now it hurts more than it helps.
Yeah, I jumped out the gate too fast. For me, I thought I saw a viable road to help a large group of people at the same time. But like I said, everybody has their own visions. For me, I can't be trying to help somebody and then they come and have a problem with whatever I'm doing. It's like, wait, or we just disagree. I can't do that. So no, I had to remove myself. I had to get insulated with that. As far as a network, what is network? A network is help, right? It's a crew, it's hands-on, it's relationships, it's cameras, it's different teams. And I still have that. But the truth of it is,
you do have an infrastructure which I believe could easily produce 5 to 10 podcasts weekly.
We could
seamlessly,
but no, I can't. I mean, we could, and we have.
So it's just the personalities.
Yeah, for me, yeah. Honestly, I can't even get into it without getting into it. So I'm trying not to. But I've had a few all women podcasts.
Why did you go that route?
I love women. I love women.
I would argue.
I love women. I always feel like women are in, their voices should be amplified. I feel like they need strong backing. I love women. Women need to be backed by strong men sometimes. And in this space where they're underrepresented, I thought that was a great move to just lead that way, especially with women I cared about.
But I'd argue, because of your audience and you have a large audience, which I would say is a lot of men, you have women as well, but it would be easier to jumpstart, which I think, here's the thing, and you're now a label for podcasts when you're a network, right? So someone's thinking, hey, how do I get from, Z to A, right? And A being the top, right? And they're looking at you like, well, you get all these views. If 30% of your audience fucks with me, it's whatever.
And that's the other thing. My audience is unique to me. It's been curated that way for years and years and years. So when I work with podcasters, consistency is number one for me, and their work ethic. Once you commit, you kind of got to commit to building your pod and your audience and researching and seeing what works and what don't work. You can't just look for a quick route. You can't look to come sit on my pod and take some of this audience and sit with Ak and take some of that audience, or just watch what somebody is doing and try to apply it. It's lazy. And in podcasting, that laziness will never work. It'll never work. So anyway, I quickly learned that I needed to be insulated and didn't want to have those creator to creator talks with other podcasters, because it would turn into me trying to convince them to do it one way and them trying to tell me of another way to do it. And nobody's right or wrong. There's a million ways to do this thing. Mine's worked for me and have worked for a few other people. Not to say another way can't work for somebody, but I didn't want to do that. So I have me, Karen Civil is still with me.
Oh, nice.
She's a rider.
That's salute to Karen.
Karen's a rider.
Did you figure out? Did you figure out in all that what it might be like being on the opposite side? Because you've always seen shit as a creator, but it was the first time when I watched like so many people coming out to try to say things or accuse or this and third, and I'm looking at Joe. I'm like, Joe, you're complex. You're now the conglomerate that people think is heartless, doesn't get it, doesn't see the creator side, except you are the creator in what you do. And if people would think, they're like, yo, of course Steve Nash is going to be a great coach. Yo, he's a fucking phenomenal basketball player, horrible right? He is, right? Coach. But still, they're looking at you to say, if anyone would get the creator, it's the creator who's now the boss. But then you're forced to make boss decisions. Did you see anything through making those decisions that made you realize that maybe Complex, I get it. In whether it's Complex, Def Jam, or anywhere else, like maybe you understood the establishment a little bit different.
Well, when I work, like me as a worker, I'm a worker. Like I'm there on time and I'm getting to it, right? So it's different. It's different when you're the person that has to. If they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. It's different when you're the person that has to say, hey, can you not be late because of traffic? Like traffic is not acceptable. And
you're really big on punctuality.
I'm really big on time being our most valuable inventory.